Yes, good afternoon everyone. This is Patrick and I'm going to take you through a spreadsheet. In this spreadsheet, we are going to work with the support files. These are our questions, and then this is our support file folder, which we are going to use to perform the tasks given in this question. So this is our question with all the tasks that we are going to do basing on our support files. So let us begin. Before, we have to create a folder, and it is where our file is going to be saved. So we'll create a folder and label it. Give it my names. That is our folder name where our file is going to be saved. And when you look at the questions, the question says you're provided with the support files for these questions in the folder support files. Open a spreadsheet file, save the candidates. So our spreadsheet file is called candidates, which is in our support file. So we'll open our support file and we'll copy this file and put it into our folder, which we are going to use. So this is our file which we are going to use. So we'll be referring to the questions as we are performing our tasks given. So these are our questions, and in the first task it says copy the work to sheet 2 of your workbook. So we'll copy the work which is given, but before copying it, the last task in our question says save your work as your names and class. So we will first of all save our work by giving it our name. So I'll save it using my names, and they said your names and class. So I'll save it as that. So I've saved my file using that, and when you retrieve it, this is how the file or how the support file looks. So let us begin with the first task according to the question. The first task says copy the work to sheet 2 of your workbook. So we'll go to our support file or to our question, which is this, and copy this work to sheet 2. So we'll copy it by highlighting. We copy it, and the question says to sheet 2. So we'll go to sheet 2 and paste our work there. So this is what we have pasted on sheet 2. Then we go to the next task, which says change the page orientation to landscape. So we'll go to the question and change. Page orientation is on page layout. So we'll go to page layout, orientation, landscape. So our work is changed to landscape. Task 3 says add a column for total and calculate the total marks. Then Roman number 3 says add a column for average and calculate the average marks. Then add the position column and find the position based on the average marks. Then add a comment column and use the vlookup function to determine or to automatically generate a comment good for pupils with the average of at least 70, fair for at least 60, then otherwise poor. So we are going to calculate our total, our average, the position and the comment using the vlookup function. So let us begin with the calculating them. So we have to put the labels. We have the total, we have the average, we have the position and the comment. And don't forget that in the comment column we are using the average to comment, and our function that we'll use is going to base on vlookup according to the questions as you're seeing them all here. So let us now begin with calculating the total, which will be equals sum. We open the brackets, the range So our range is going to start from cell D2 to cell D2, which is this up to that, which is based on the 4 subjects. We'll close the brackets and press enter. So this will be our total, and since Excel deals with the auto recalculation, so we'll just auto fill and get the total for the rest of the column. So this is our total for every student. Let us go to the average, which will still be equals average. We open the brackets, the range of all the 4 subjects. We still close the brackets and press enter. So this will be our average score. Now when you look at the average score in the question, it says add a column for average and calculate the average mark, but now there is this part here to 2 decimal places for each pupil. So what we have to do is to add 2 decimal points, where we go to home and then we add the 2 decimal points as you're seeing it here. So that is our average score according to how the question asks us to do. So it is with 2 decimal places. Then let us get to the positions. When we are calculating the positions, we use the rank formula, which will be equals rank. We open the brackets. Our reference, or that number that we are going to deal with, the question says we are basing on the average score. So we'll use this average score, which is I2. We put a comma, and then all the average scores for all the students as a range, which starts from I2 up to I21, that is. So we'll put a comma, and then our positions are going to be represented in descending order, meaning the one with the highest score or with the highest average is given number 1. So we'll represent it with a 0, and then we close the brackets. Then because we are using absolute difference in rank, we have to add dollar signs. So we'll put dollar signs between the first cell range by pressing F4, and also here we still put dollar signs, and then this is how the formula will be according to rank. So we always do use dollar signs to fix all of these cells such that they are not changed when they are copied down. So this is our formula that we are supposed to use to calculate rank. So press enter. So this one is given position number 12. Let us auto fill down to get the rest of the positions. So this is how rank works as you see it here in the formula bar. Then let us get to the comment. In the comment column, according to the question, let us look at the question. It says add a column for comment and use vlookup function to automatically generate a comment good for people with an average of at least 70, fair for at least 60, otherwise poor, which means those who scored from 0 to around 59. That is what the question asks us to do according to the comment column. So let us now comment. But before, when we are working with the vlookup, we always create what we call an array table. So represent all our comments in a table array. So you can represent it somewhere in our worksheet. Let me represent it here, where I will put here score, and then I'll represent here comment according to my table array, which is always beginning from a 0. So we'll start with a 0, then we have 60, and then the last one is 70. And those who will have a comment from 0 to 59, these ones will be commented with poor, then these ones will be commented with fair, and then these ones will be commented with good according to the question. So this is our array table as you see it represented. Let me try to emphasize it. So this is what we are going to use as our array table. Now let us now enter our formula basing on vlookup, where I will say equals vlookup. You open the brackets. Our lookup value we are basing on their score, the average scores, this one here, which will be I2. We put a comma and then the table array. That is now the reason why we do have this array table in our worksheet. So whenever you're dealing with vlookup, make sure that you have a table array. So this is our table array, which is going to take this range. So it starts from this 0 up to this cell here where good is, which is O3 up to P5. So O3 is a 0, then P5 is this good, which is always supposed to be fixed with the dollar signs. So put a dollar sign here. You just press F4 to automatically generate the dollar signs. You still press F4 to automatically generate the dollar sign. Then we put a comma, and according to the question, our table array is arranged in 2 columns. As you're seeing here, the column index, there are 2, so represent it with 2 columns, and then we close the brackets. Then after we press enter, so this one is returned, it's given fair because it is in the range of 60. So we'll autofill down to get the other comments for other students. So as you can see, according to the comment, it is represented as that. This is our comment. So we have commented them using the vlookup function as you see it represented there. Then let us still refer to our questions and we'll continue and see. C says use the count function to find Roman number 1 number of pupils whose names begins with the letter A, and it has to be returned in cell B22. So in our worksheet we can put a label somewhere and say names begins or beginning with the A according to the label that we are using. Let us wrap it and we'll enlarge this a bit. So we are now entering the formula because they said in cell B22. Cell B22 is this cell here, where I will still say equals count. Count if we open the brackets, the range our names begins from this Alfred cell, which is B2, up to this last cell, which is B21. So the range will be this, which is B2 up to B21. Then after that is done, because we are finding or we are looking for criteria, those whose names begins with the A. After the range we'll put a comma, and then the criteria is always in quotations. We'll put that letter followed by the asterisk, which is this, and then we close the quotations, and then we close the brackets. Then this is our function that will return all those whose names begins with letter A. If we manually count, we have this one, we have Alfred, we have Ali and Alex. So our answer has to be 4 when you press enter. So we're having 4 as our number, those whose names begins with the letter A according to the function. So that is how we work with the count if function. Let us go back to our questions. The other one says number of pupils whose comment is good in cell K23. So let us add that label somewhere here, and it says it says those with comment good. So we are returning, or we are looking for those whose comment is good according to our worksheet, which is going to be entered in cell K23. This is our cell, and we are basing on this column, which will still be equals count if you open the brackets, the range begins from the first cell, which is this cell here. So this is our range up to this down. So the range will be K20, so the K2 up to cell K21, which is this one and this, according to the range. We'll put a comma, and we are dealing with count if. We have to represent it in quotation. So we'll open quotations and type good, and then close the quotations, and then press enter. So when you look at those with the comment good, they are 9 according to the formula. Then let us go back to the questions. It says number of peoples who got D1 in mathematics, given that a D1 is at 75 in cell F22. So let us now represent those who have D1. We can represent it a label here, and says have D1 in mathematics. So we are using mathematics is column F, which column F is this. So we have to enter the formula here, which will be equals count if, we open the brackets, and the range, it starts from F2, this is F2 up to this last cell, which is F21. So after that we put a comma, and we are looking for those who have a D2, and in our question it said those with a D2, they will have scores in mathematics above 75. So what we do according to our criteria would say greater than 75. We put a comma, so that we put 75, and we close the quotations and then the brackets after we press enter. So there are only 6 who have a D1, basing on the question which said that those with a D1, they will be having scores from 75 and above according to the question. So that is how we deal with that. Then there is other tasks that we have to go on, or that we have to apply onto our work. One says, or D says, apply a green line color, that is all borders outline to your cell. So we are applying borders to our work, which is supposed to be selected from where it is beginning from. The whole of this has to be selected up to this, and we are applying borders. So all borders are these ones, but don't forget that the borders are supposed to be in color green. So we have to give them color green. The line color is green, so we give them a green color according to, or we can just highlight them all through basing on what we can do. So let us highlight all the cells at once, and we apply a green color by clicking on format cells. Format cells, we go to border. The borders are already there according to our worksheet, and we are giving them a color green. So after this we click OK. So our worksheet is applied or given color green. That is how we apply borders with a color. Then the other one says add a footer of your names, all of your name right aligned. So let us add a footer. We go to insert footer, our footer is always at the bottom, so we have to scroll down until we see the section for the footer, which is supposed to be right aligned. So let us do put our footer as that. So that is how we deal with the footer according to the question. So whenever you ask it to add a footer and you're not seeing a space, make sure that you scroll down until you see the footer section. Then the other question says, add a new row above the table, merge the cells, that is K1 to K, A1 to K1, center, and have the title this. So our work is going to be given this title, where we'll go to the first row, which is this row, and we add a row above, which is on home, insert a row. So this is our row, and it has to be merged, so we merge it and center, and in it we're having this, we're having a title. The title, they said the title is Promotional Results 2021. So we'll type in here promotional results 2021 according to the question. Other tasks we can add, it says change the title, change the font size of the title to 20. So you are changing the size of this title to 20. So we'll just type it in there, size 20, which is done. Then change the font color of the title to purple. So we give it a purple color according to the question. Font purple. This is purple, so we give it that purple color, which is that. Then change the font face of the title to Algerian. So we are giving this title font Algerian. So look for Algerian, which is this. That is that. Then fill the title with a yellow background. So our title still, we are filling it with a yellow background. So we go here and then fill it with a yellow background. Then the changes, of course, we already gave our file a name. We just save the changes according to the question. So we just press Ctrl S to save the changes. So this is how the tasks, or how the question is asking us to do, or everything according to the question is that. So I beg that we end here for today, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Computer Elites Uganda, which is always lovable. So make sure that you subscribe to it, leave a comment, and I welcome all those comments as we move on. Thank you very much. I remain Teacher Patrick. See you when we meet again.